Hello, chess lovers. I'm Prasanna here from India, and today we are going to see a game again, a Sicilian, and both white and black castles, king opposite sides, and white goes for a beautiful attack, and at the end of the game, there's going to be a rook h5, rook d5, h5, rook maneuver. It's called the lawnmower checkmate. And let's find out what's the lawnmower checkmate. Okay, what's the big? Let's start the game. The opening e4, c5, knight f3, knight c6, knight c3, e6, e6, and d4, cd4, ed4, knight d4, and d6. All these are typical stuff. Okay, bishop e3, bishop e3, knight f6, bishop c4, bishop e7, bishop b3. The white bishop retreats to b3, and a6, a6, queen e2, queen e2. The engine recommends castling short, but white has other ideas. Knight a5, knight a5, g4. The engine gives f4 is the best move. So let's see what happens. Knight takes b3, knight takes the bishop a b3, and then h5, 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 d5 is recommended, but black goes h5, h5, and then g5, g5, knight g4. So I think black makes not the best move here, when he should have gone d5 instead of h5, and white goes g5, attacks the knight, and knight g4, knight g4, f4, f4, and e5, e5, e5 is not recommended by the engine. It says it's a good move, but the best here is castling short. e5, knight f5, knight f5 is an excellent move, excellent move. The knight goes into black's position, and then after bishop f5, ef5, instead of bishop f5, the engine recommends knight e3, knight takes e3, ef5, and knight e3, queen e3, knight takes e3, and queen takes e3, ef4, ef4, and the queen goes to f3. The queen doesn't take the pawn because of bishop g5, bishop g5, and the castling, and white cannot castle. Then bishop, after bishop takes g5, long castles, long castles. Now white clearly shows his intentions to attack black's king. The black's king is in the center, the black king castles, but the engine shows it's an inaccurate move. The best move here is king f8, king f8, king f8. The black should have gone king f8, after which queen takes b7, rook b8, rook b8. If queen takes a6, then again rook a8, rook a8, then queen b7, and bishop discovered check is there, f3 check, and then after king b1, f2, f2, and then after f2, knight, rook d5, bishop e3, knight e4, and rook h6. Rook h6 lifts the rook from the home rank, and the rook f1, king knight a7. So black would have survived, black would have gone through the game, but instead of this, and what happens after long castle, black castles in a moment of panic, and then rook hc1, rook hc1, hg1, and the engine recommends queen takes h5, bishop f6. Bishop f6 is an inaccurate move. Black should have gone h4. h4 is the best move in this. Okay, after h4, queen takes b7, rook e8, rook e8, rook e8. The engine says is the best move. After rook b8, king b1, king b1 and then rook b8. Again the same variations. Okay, bishop g5, castle shot, rook h1, bishop f6, and knight e4. Knight e4. The engine recommends knight d5 and bishop e5. Bishop e5 is a blunder. It's a blunder because the f pawn moves now. Bishop f6 and bishop. It's better to take with the bishop. But after bishop takes, rook d6 comes. Rook d6 is there on the list. So after g6, queen h5. The g pawn is pinned, and after bishop f6 comes rook d6. Rook d6. This is where all the excitement starts, folks. After rook d6, bishop g7, rook d8, rook takes the queen. Rook takes the queen and g takes hy. This is a blunder. This is a blunder. And again, the engine recommends to give up the queen. So queen g5, queen g5. The engine recommend. Okay, but instead of this, gf6, black takes the queen back. But there comes knight f6. Knight f6 and the bishop is pinned. Now rook king h8. King h8 is forced, and now comes the rook d5. Rook d5 is look at it carefully, folks. This is the maneuver, rook maneuver called the lawnmower checkmate. And now after bishop h6, rook h5, rook takes h5, rook a d8, rook takes h6, mate is coming, folks. That's all. It's not, there's no use any moves. There's no use. Mate cannot be averted here. So you see, folks. So you see, after where did black go? After bishop g4, here after knight e4, bishop e5 was the blunder. This was the black's crucial move here. He made a blunder, and now white goes with f6, g6, and queen h5. And rook d6 is coming. Rook d6. Rook d6 was an excellent move here. And after bishop g7, rook d8, ghy, and knight f6, the intermediate move, knight f6 check, and king h8 is forced. After that, rook d5, rook d5, and bishop h6, rook takes h5, and the mate cannot be averted. Okay, this was really a cool, exciting game. Okay, folks, I'll meet you in the next game. Thank you.